All right, welcome guys. It is our Monday night team call and it is May 23rd already. Tonight we are going to kick off an amazing power hour and we have two awesome guest speakers here who are going to knock it out of the park for us, Allie Van Arsdale and Liesl Mardig. And Allie is my personally sponsored coach. She is a 5-star Diamond Elite coach. She is a mom of 2. She is just rocking it. And Liesl is your 1-star, right? 1-star Diamond? About to get married. She's a teacher, So we've got, the full-time mom aspect coming at you and then the full-time teacher, full-time coach gig, everything coming at you. So I love that they are just like a dynamic duo because they obviously can show you guys both ends of the spectrum and they kill it with Success Club points and recruiting every single month, you guys. So I am not going to talk any longer because I'm excited to do my power hour over on my end too. So I'm going to hit mute and let you guys take it away.
All right, guys. Well, I'll just kind of do, a little intro. It's so funny. I'm Val's coach, and then Liesl is my coach. And it's so cool when you get to the point in your business where you start to, have leaders emerge in your organization so that you can really do these types of things with them. And you really end up working with your coaches instead of mentoring them. It's an amazing thing whenever that transition happens where your business partners, your true business partners, you're not just, helping them all the time. You are true business partners. So whenever you get to that point with your coaches, it's a really cool thing. So I'm really happy to be here with Liesl. She is a rock star. She's also in grad school too. So she is a full-time teacher. She is in grad school. She's planning a wedding. She is the epitome of busy and the epitome of she probably does not have time for this, but she makes time for it because her why is bigger than her excuses. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get our first post up in our group. So I know that I said this maybe before some of you hopped on. Make sure, I know that I put in our page if you have questions or specific things you want us to cover, go ahead and chat those to us in the Zoom chat so that we have them in one place so we don't have to scroll through the group. And we'll try to answer them as we go through. All right, so your first post is live, guys. Go ahead in there and keep that going. So I know for me, my hardest thing whenever I started coaching was inviting. And it still is a hard thing to do, but I will say that whatever you do in your business now doesn't affect it tomorrow or even today. It affects it a month from now, 2 months from now. So your consistency over time is what is going to bring you success in this business as you go through.
Absolutely. And I found like you have to just go into your invites with the mentality like, you know what, you're not even facing this person face to face. Just send a stinking message. I mean, I'm just going to give you some tough love, guys. Like you just have to send that message. And, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no, or they're going to tell you that Beachbody is silly and crazy. But honestly, I think I can count the amount of times that's happened to me on my hand. Like it doesn't happen that much. People truly do value what we do and value our story. So, you have to just be confident in what you have to offer. I personally, every time I get icky about an invite or a coaching invite, especially, I think, okay, Liesl, chill out and think about how much this has helped your life. And you can do the same for someone else. So that's it's all in your mindset for me. That's where I come from. So
Absolutely. 100% agree. And
I think the second that you switch your mindset is the second that you just really can explode your business. So, get over yourself, I guess, and just do it. But
absolutely. And, I love, I'll never forget being at NLC this past January and listening to Bonnie Engel speak on stage about presenting the business opportunity and how, she painted the picture very clearly and said, guys, you have the ability in this business to help a mom be home with her children, to help somebody pay their car payment, to help somebody not be in debt anymore. Like, you have the ability to help somebody do that. So if you live in fear, if you keep that fear holding you back from asking them over the computer to come join a challenge group or join your coaching team, you're keeping their destiny trapped in your mouth. And you can't do that. You have to live fearlessly and not let the fear of asking somebody hold you back from growing your business, but more importantly, hold them back from changing their life. Okay? Because you have the potential to really change their life. And if you guys aren't already on Darren Daly's email list or text list, whatever, to get his little personal development daily delivered to you, sign up. It's plain and simple as that. There are 3-minute videos, if that come to your email or a text message. And, if you need something quick to fill your cup before you send out your invites, that's a perfect things to do. I always do a little bit of personal development before I sit down and do my power hour, because it gets your mindset right. If you are having a crappy day, it's going to come across in your messages to people, and they're going to be able to see through that. And, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is Michael Hyatt. I could listen to him on repeat over and over again. Yeah. But, when his father gave him a piece of advice, whenever his first gig was over the radio, and he said, "Dad, what would be my best thing for success?" And he said, "To smile when you talk." He was over the radio. Nobody can see him. But that was the best advice that his dad ever gave him, because it comes across in what you're saying. So smile when you're talking to people, have body language, even if they can't see you, because it will affect how you're talking to them 100%.
Do you think we're about
ready? I think we're ready for that second post. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So we got to get into the nitty gritty, as I call it now. We're going to move right on into our invites. I'm going to post right now in the group just some really easy things to use for your invites, just some little scripts that you could use, some follow-ups. My biggest advice, I think, and Ali, you can kind of piggyback off this, is just to keep it really simple for me, and just remember too that you're just talking to people. I like to think of them as like my best gal or something, or somebody like a friend of mine. I like my people I'm talking to feel that way, to feel like I am just their friend, and just not make it like this big long. I used to send out these big long, like I think we've all been there when we first started out, this big long invitation, and it's just word vomit. Nobody is going to answer you if you did that, if you do that. So like, I'll give you an example. I did send out some invites today. I'm really focused tonight on my coaching invites because we have a live event coming up, but I did send out some invites to a challenge group as well. And I kept it simple. I've been finding that people are just digging the bikini talk right now. So my simple invite is, so I was just chatting with some friends. Like, I want them to feel like I'm their friend, like we're in the group of gals together. And I have an upcoming fitness accountability bikini bootcamp challenge kicking off June 6th. Would you be interested in learning more? I ended the question, and that was it. And I got 4 messages back earlier today because it was short, sweet, and simple. And I had to preface it and say that those are all people that I connected with last week, that I shot a message and said, hey, congrats on your graduation. What an important day, or how special this time is for you. What are your post-grad plans? Or, people that I talked to, or I said, oh my gosh, I messaged this one girl, she had this cutest outfit on underneath her graduation gown. And I was like, where did you get that? I need that outfit. It's so adorable. And we talked about Nordstrom's for like 20 minutes the other night about how much we loved it. And I messaged her today, and sure enough, she was one of those people that did want more information. So I think it's just super important to track who you're connecting with and go ahead and those are the people then later on to invite, because you've already established that awesome connection with them. And invite really does come from a connection, always, 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 always. So, Allie, I'll let you chime in too.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're not tracking, you need to, plain and simple. And you need to find a system that works for you. The business activity tracker is an amazing place to start because it allows you to see what to track. That's the biggest tool that business activity tracker does. And I know Val posted a couple of them in the group on Facebook. And that's the best place to start because it teaches you what to track daily. It needs to happen daily. This is not a business you can show up 2 days a week and expect your goals to happen. This is not a 9-to-5 job. This isn't like a job where you go punch in and punch out and you're on the clock for a certain amount of time. And regardless whether you stand around or if you do your job great, you're going to get paid. It's not how it works. This business, your income is a true reflection of the effort and the energy that you're putting in. And it's really important for you to understand that in this business, you flatline for a really long time and you put in a lot of time and effort and energy as you're building your credibility. And then all of a sudden, you start to go up and you exponentially increase in your income over time. But you have to get past the flat line. You have to be willing to work through the suck to get to the really good. Okay. And it's different for everybody when that exponential growth starts to happen. But you have to be optimistic and realize that if you're putting in the effort every single day, that growth will happen. And inviting that vital behavior is crucial to that success. For me, how I track my business is I have a notebook that I got at TJ Maxx. Those really fun notebooks. They have really cheap prices at TJ Maxx. And every day I start off and I just put the date at the top. And I first start off with my follow-ups. So I go to the day before and I see who I invited, who I didn't hear anything back from. And I immediately send them a follow-up. And the follow-up is really easy, guys, really to the point. I especially, whenever they read my message and don't say anything, I will always put in there, hey, totally been there. I get really sidetracked on stuff and I read messages and forget to respond all the time because I do that all the time. Ask my coaches. I do it all the time. Okay. So I always preface it with that. And that always just right away eases them. And I always say, hey, no pressure. Just let me know either way. And that also gives them a call to action. Hey, it's okay if you tell her no. She said either way, let her know. Mm-hmm. And that way I know how to handle it the next time. Whether it's hey, not right now, it's not great. Oh, that's all right. Will it be a better time next month? And you're able to move the conversation farther instead of them just being a read message that you don't know how to respond to. But for my tracking, I have a notebook and I write down every single day who I invited, who I followed up with. Pretty much everybody I have an ongoing conversation with gets written down in that book. When they respond back to my message, they get highlighted. And I know that I have that connection built with them and that conversation going. And guess what? It's your job to go back and keep the messages going. That's your job. So if your system right now is to go through your Facebook inbox, you need to stop and you need to find a system that works for you. And start with your BAT, start with your business activity tracker and move forward from there. I've evolved my system 15 million times. And this will probably change in 3 months because you're going to grow with your business and you're going to make changes as you go through. The biggest thing for me is everything's in one place. It's bound and I can carry it with me whenever I go work at Starbucks, when I travel, it's with me. So find a system that works for you. Start with the business activity tracker because it teaches you what to do. That's crucial. Okay. So start with that business activity tracker.
Yes. And if what you're doing works, then don't change it. I mean, don't fix the broken, whatever that saying is. And because I did that, guys, I will be honest with you. I was like business activity tracker girl 100% of the way from September till January. When I started in September in a diamond group, a push to diamond group, that's when I that is when I first started tracking my business. So for the first 3 months of my business, I didn't write squat down. I was that girl scrolling through my Facebook messages, and then I went into this diamond group, and they're like, you have to post this every day and to stay accountable. And I was like, well, holy crap. So I started to, but wouldn't you know it, like I went diamond in that group, and I just really started to build a good relationships with people, and my business really grew just by tracking my business. In February, I'll be honest, I tried to switch my tracking system. I saw everybody doing this fancy Excel spreadsheet business. And Allie will tell you, everybody knows, I think, my whole team, February sucked, guys. I had the worst month of my business ever in February. And I realized it was because I was just spending so much time trying to track that I wasn't really tracking at all, and it was just a mess. So I went back at the end, and you would know this if you looked in this planner. Starting on March 1st, I bought myself this like simple $10 planner at Staples. And what I do now, and you really can't probably see it, but I divide each day into 4 sections. So one section is I write down all the people's names that I add on Facebook. And this planner has 8 lines, like on the thing. So I'm doing 8 every day, bare minimum. And when I want to really go wild and crazy, I like put 2 people's names on each line to like squeeze them in, you know, like if I need to like push, I squeeze some names in. But I put the people I add, and then my second little section is my connection. So these are the people that I'm like talking, you know, like, hey girl, I loved your outfit, where'd you get it? Like that kind of thing. And then the third is invites. So my invites are here. And my 4th column is my follow-ups. And yes, I have 4 different color, beautiful highlighters, and they all have a meaning to me and a meaning to absolutely probably nobody else. But just if they responded to my message, or they accepted my friend request, responded to my connection message, responded and want more info in my challenge group, or they responded to my follow-up message, they get pink because I like pink. So that's like happy to me. So pink is the color. Allie, if I need to stop talking, you can interrupt. Did you want to post anything? Okay. And then orange is the no's. Like that's kind of like a Reddit. I don't know. Orange, I don't like orange that much. So those are no's. And then the blue are the people that I had invited and I followed up with. And then the yellow is people that maybe were interested, but I want to follow up with them like months later. Like they might tell me, a lot of people are saying, oh, like, can you follow up with me in, you know, June when I kind of figured everything out from just graduating college, or like when I get back from my trip, can you follow up with me in a couple weeks? People do ask you that. So the yellows are people that I want to connect with quickly. So wild, crazy. If you looked at this from a different vantage, like an outsider looking in, you'd be thinking I'm crazy. But it works for me. And like Val mentioned, I do hit Success Club every month. Like when I tried to do myself with the new tracking system. So it works for me and I roll with it, but you have to find what works for you. That's the bottom line. So I've tried different things, and you know what works for you, it works for you. So that's kind of my tracking system.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember that business activator, it teaches you what to track. Like Liesl, if she were just to come out of the gate, like, yeah, I want to do this Beachbody coach thing, and she just tried to wing it, you can't wing it, guys. You have to know what to do. So that's why we do these calls. We're teaching you what to actually track whenever you sit down to do something. You have to sit down with intent. Yes, you can build this business in an hour a day if you're working for an hour, not just sitting there scrolling for an hour trying to figure out what to do. And as soon as you stop using your Facebook inbox as a way to manage your business, you will be able to work more efficiently in an hour, as opposed to just trying to figure out who to message today. Go work with intent.
Yeah, and for someone like me, like I literally, there are most days, like 9 days, like there's not 9 days in a week, like 6 days out of 7, I only have an hour to put in to do this stuff. So I have to work efficiently like that. I have to have a set plan every single day. So, you know, it is doable, but you have to like Alex said, you have to put in the work when you are working. You can't just be scrolling through your Facebook or scrolling through your messages trying to find somebody to talk to. I mean, that just is a waste of time. So, and I've been there. I've had that aha moment. So I've even been there like sometimes recently where you just like, I don't know, life gets busy and you like lose track of who you talk to, or I don't have my highlighters handy and I'm like, crap, what did they say? And you just had to take a deep breath and you'll get there. You'll figure it all out for sure. So I saw Dina ask a question. What is the best way to transition from chatting about interests to going towards challenge groups and coaching? So for me, sometimes my conversations lead to what I'm doing. If you're asking like, oh, what are you up to? Like, what are you doing? I always throw in a jab about how Beachbody coaching, like how that's that's in my list of like credentials. Like I say, I'm a teacher and a grad school student, and I absolutely love working as a Beachbody coach. Like that's my job too. So I tell people that. And a lot of times that will lead into like, oh yeah, I've seen your posts. They're so inspiring, da 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 da. And there you go. There's your lead in. If the conversation, you just have to kind of feel it out. For me, like I mentioned earlier, I might have talked to that girl about her dress last week, but I didn't mention Beachbody once. And I didn't feel like I needed to, but she was somebody I easily felt connected to and could go back and invite the next week. So, I don't think you always have to lead straight into the invite. I don't know how you feel about that, Allie. I don't always go right into it. I might just stay present on their Facebook, like the post, talk to them about dresses, and then, sometimes just pop in, go back to that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's
absolutely.
right.
I do probably 50-50. I love cold invites. I'm not going to lie. I have a really good success rate with cold invites. Liesl was a cold invite. But I like cold invites. I like building relationships with people too, don't get me wrong. I like to build relationships more face-to-face than I do over Facebook and Messenger. So like, for example, I have this great challenger in a challenge group right now who we met at a mom's club event, and I went to it with our kids were playing. We just literally connected. We were just chatting about our kids, about our family. She just moved to the area. And then, we instantly, hey, let's connect on Facebook. It'd be great to have, a new friend in town. Never once mentioned Beachbody, but of course, she saw my posts on Facebook because I'm consistent. And then she messaged me wanting to join a challenge group. And I said, hey, I'd love to talk to you more about it. Let's get together for another play date and we'll talk about it. So she came over, our girls played, and we talked Beachbody stuff. And now she's in a challenge group. She's given me 3 referrals, and she is going to transition into a coach. Maybe not right away, but I know she will down the road, because we've taken the time to build that relationship. Now, my cold invites, I love them. I love cold invites. I like to connect with people. They are, if they're done tactfully, you will have good success with them. And I like to message people after they've been my friend for a while, and I connect with them. I say our commonality, and I keep it simple. Hey, not sure if you've seen my post as a Beachbody coach, but I'm kicking off another group right here on Facebook about health and accountability. Would you be interested in more information? And I usually get a response back. Yeah, I'd love to hear more information. Short, simple, to the point, and you move on. Because, again, I'm consistent with my Facebook posts. And what do you do when you get a random message from somebody? You instantly go look at their profile. So they're instantly able to learn all about me when they go to my profile and snoop around a little bit to see how we know each other and how we are connected. I did post our 3rd post in there, guys, and it's all about going and reconnecting with people. Liesl is really good at this. She's really good at messaging people and really just sending those hey girl messages. So, right now, after you get finished with your 5 invites and your follow-ups from the last post, go and I want you guys to randomly message 3 people, all right? So go ahead and message them. Kill them with kindness. Compliment them. Give them a genuine compliment. Okay? It's not hard. Don't you love when somebody tells you you look nice? Tell them that they look nice, okay? Compliment their kids. Ask them where they got something. Shower them with love. People need that in their life. So Lisa, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about how you send that initial reconnection message, or just
I'll be honest. When I'm reconnecting, I do a little bit of Facebook scrolling. I like but I do just kind of scroll through a little bit and see what people are up to. Like, people are getting married and people are graduating and things like that. And that's such an easy way to just say hi and pop in and congratulate them. Like, nobody likes to hear that more. Another one of my go-to reconnects is on people's birthdays. So birthdays are like my go-to way to talk to people and reconnect, because everybody has a birthday. So you figure you could talk to everybody at least once a year when it's their birthday. So what I do is I write on their wall on their birthday. And I just say, hey, I make it heartfelt, like, happy birthday, I hope you have a wonderful day, or have had a wonderful day, depending on what time I've sent the initial post. And then the next day, I follow up with my Facebook post, and I personally message them, and I just say, hey, girl, how was your birthday yesterday? And I lead it with a question. I said, did you do anything fun to celebrate? Or what did you do to celebrate? And then, okay, like, I don't know about you, but I love talking about my birthday, and I love my birthday. So if somebody messages me about my birthday, I'm going to respond. And most people do have a good birthday, and they want it, or they tell you, oh, I had to work all day. And then you can talk about work. You know, like, for me, that's easy because I'm always working. So, you know, either way, you can talk to them and reconnect with them, and you can change that conversation to past the birthday chat. So that is one really easy way that I connect with people. And I have a lot of success with that. People that, it will be funny, like, I'll look at our whole entire message thread, and I've sent them like invite, follow up, invited them to a group, nothing. And then all of a sudden it's their birthday and they're like right on it, and they respond to you, and you're the nicest person ever. So it's really funny. People come around on birthdays. So that's my connection tips. Really keep it simple. Just remember, like, you are Facebook friends. Like, act like you're friends. You know, like, you're just chatting with a friend. So
exactly. And you know, hold a conversation with somebody. Like, if you notice, like, oh, I'm going to go off of what they just said and transition off to it. Like, just keep it going. End with a question and always keep going. It should be a tennis match. Going back and forth.
Yep, exactly. I think a lot of people just overthink this stuff. I know I used to. I used to think, gosh, like, how am I ever going to talk to this girl I haven't seen since high school? Or, you know, I don't even know if this girl remembers me from high school. But honestly, don't just send the message. You know, don't think about it. Just tell her that you like her hair, or you like her outfit, or you hope she had a great birthday. Like, that's easy, you know? The connections are my favorite part, I think, of my tracker, because it's easy. And, you know, it's nice. It's fun to connect with people too. You know, it's amazing to think back to how many people that I wouldn't have talked to if I wasn't a Beachbody coach. Like, aside from them, they're not in my challenge groups, but how many people you get to reconnect with that, you know, you haven't talked to in years. It's cool. It's a cool thing. So.
And I'll say too, my favorite reconnection message to send is to pregnant people. Pregnant moms. I love sending them reconnection messages because I've been there. I've been in their shoes, and it's an easy topic to talk about to me. Like, hey, how are you feeling? How far along are you? Are you finding out what you're having? All of those things. And then I always offer to them, if they're a first-time mom, I have a killer baby list of essentials that I send off to new moms. Like, hey, if you're interested, I have this great list when you're building your registry. Great thing to add value to their lives. And they're always so thankful for that, because when you are pregnant with your first baby, you have no clue what you are doing when you go into Babies R Us. And that's a huge, that's a really nice thing to just give them. And, you know, you have to constantly give people something, okay? You have to give, and then you'll get something. All right. Think about when you were younger and you wanted to go play at your friend's house. All right. I know I have to do this to get my mom to say yes. So I'm going to go clean up my room, and I'm going to be really nice to my brother, and I'm going to make sure that I listen. And then I'm going to ask her if I can go play at my friend's house after school.
Yeah.
And odds are your mom said yes if you gave her all those things first. So it's the same thing whenever you talk to people. You have to give them value before you ask for anything in return. Okay? So make sure you're doing that in their life. And that doesn't necessarily have to be something you send them via private message. Give them recipes on your Facebook page. Adding value into their life is where it's at.
I think the same thing. Are we ready for the next post, do you think? Or not yet?
Let me check out the group here. Let me refresh it.
Yeah.
Yeah, reconnections, guys, they're easy because you don't have to worry about a yes or no. You're literally just having a conversation with somebody. So remove yourself out of the outcome. Don't go into the conversation thinking how awesome of a challenger they would be. Think about how awesome of a conversation you're going to have. And I guarantee the days that I spend my days going through and literally just holding conversations, those are the days I come out feeling like on top of the world, because you've held conversations with people all day. You're not in this to sell a product, all right? You want to connect with people, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, all right? And if your conversation turns into your life and what you're doing, they're going to see your why come through with every word that you type or you speak to them. I guarantee it.
I honestly, when I reconnect and connect with people, I really don't think about Beachbody at all. I'm just there to talk to people and make a conversation. So, I mean, of course we have intent and we have purpose and when we're doing our connections, but I really, when I talk to people, I remove conversation. So.
So how are we doing? Did we get those invites and reconnections sent out to everybody that you're doing? This may be a good gut check for some of you guys too, to realize if you're not prepared to sit down and do a power hour, it may be a good indicator about what you need to make sure you're going into your business with doing, making sure you're working from a list, making sure you have conversations going so you can sit down and actually go with intent to get through your list. So this could be the biggest gut check ever or the biggest kick in the pants ever. You get to pick, or both.
Kicks in the pants are good. We all need them. We've all gotten them before. And it turns out good in the end. So. And I see Terry, you're asking about being super slow with everything I do. Will I ever be able to get faster at posting, etc.? Are there any tricks to it? And I would say, it sounds like to me, Carrie, I don't know you, Carrie, but it sounds like to me that you are overthinking it. And like Val said, that's going to kill your business. When you're posting, just remember that it's like a reality TV show. Just share your life. Like, just share what you're doing. Don't think about it. Don't worry about, I mean, we've all been there where we overthink our text or we overthink what we're going to say. Like, been there, done that. I still get trapped into that. But the best posts that I come up with are on a whim. They're of things that I'm just doing, like going to TJ Maxx and not having any self-control or whatever. You know, like that's where I get the most traction from. So I think, Carrie, you need to just remove yourself from that overthinking mindset and just share what you have and, you know, share your life and just make it simple. And as far as inviting, if you're slow at inviting, you probably need a better way to track, I would say, because when I was slow, I was either not tracking and scrolling through my messages, trying to find people to invite, or I just was not, the system I was working with did not work for me. So my advice to you as far as your power hour and being slow, make, you know, find a way to track that is efficient for you. I don't know.
Yeah, and to go off of that, as far as what to post about, I think it was, I was in the car a lot yesterday traveling, and I listened to National Wake Up Calls while I was in the car, and I can't even remember which one it was because I listened to like 4 while we were in the car yesterday. But she said, you know, if you're ever not sure what to post about, stop what you're doing, take a selfie, and put the text with it for something you're grateful for in your life right now. Easy post. Easy, because there is always something that you can be grateful for. And, you know, you have to take it to the next level. You can't just, you know, take your picture and be like, I'm so grateful that there are blue skies. Well, fantastic. You got to dive a little deeper than that. You know, I always tell my coaches, you have to kind of think like a walking Hallmark card. People eat up mushy stuff. You have to share about it. My best posts on my wall are the ones where I'm talking about my children and talking about my spouse, my husband. And when I talk about those things, people, they don't think of my husband, Matt, and how wonderful he is and how cute my kids are. They think of their husband and they think of their kids. Because if you are eliciting your story the right way, people don't think about your story when they read it. They think about theirs. So you have to put your text with it so that people can see themselves in that. as you go through, so that they're thinking about their first kiss and the first time they held their babies, not your babies and your first kiss. Because guess what? Nobody cares about that. They want to make sure, they want to feel the emotions about their own experiences. But your text and your story can bring that out in them.
And as we're talking about an invite, remember that your posts are an invite in themselves. Like, that's one of the ways that you invite to what you have to offer, to coaching. So when you post about the business opportunity, you're inviting people without them ever feeling like they were invited. And when you post recipes and you post, you know, tips for meal planning and all that stuff, you're inviting people essentially. So don't ever discredit your posts either. They're important. Just don't overthink them either. It's a balancing act, really. It's hard, and it's something that you do get better at, I would say, for sure. I mean, it comes anything in life when you put a little effort into it and keep at it and are consistent and you do it over and over and over again. Consistency is the key, and you do become better, and it does become easier. So always keep that in mind, I'd say.
Yeah, remember, you got to get through the suck. You got to get through 2 people liking your post to eventually get to 100 people liking your posts.
Exactly.
And it's really fun to do a post again a year later once you have credibility, to see the same post a year later, how it does as opposed to when you first started.
I have to try that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Do you think we're ready for the next post now, or should we wait a little longer?
I think we're ready for it. The next one's pretty easy.
Really easy. So all you have to do, and we're only going to take a few minutes to do it, is find 3 people on Facebook and request them. So friend request, easy. What I like to do is go into my own page. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but because I learned this on a Power Hour, I think. If you go to your friends tab, I'm just like falling on my page, so I can tell you how to do it. And if you go to find friends button, there's a little plus sign, and it will come up with people that you may know. That's kind of like the people. Also, you can search by like your current city, your hometown, you know, things like that too, to kind of filter them out. And I like to do that. Another thing I like to do is go into like my old like my class of 2009 high school Facebook page, and just like friend request people. My sorority alumni page, I always find people in there too that I'm not friends with. I'm trying to think of other things. Just, you know, think of places. Or honestly, guys, like the people you may know, if they look like somebody that I could connect with, if they're cute, if they, I don't know, like look like somebody who might be interested in a bikini boot camp even, like I add them on Facebook. I'm not shy with my Facebook friend requests. I friend request people out the butt. And all day, I mean, from my phone, from my computer, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things to do with friend requests, I love to go to somebody where I was like, okay, this person is clearly from my hometown. We went to the same high school. We're bound to have mutual friends. So I go and actually go to their profile page and I click on their friends.
Yes,
and then I'm able to see like, oh, there's 20 people there. Well, we have 4 mutual friends. Add. That's a great way because you already have that commonality. For me, it's hometown, same high school. So that's another.
That's golden. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you should be adding people every single day. That takes that scarcity mindset and eliminates it. Because guys, I hate to break it to you, maybe a rock star with 5,000 friends on Facebook, but that is like a pinky nail in comparison to how many people are on the planet. So there's a whole lot of people out there that don't even know who you are or that you're even a Beachbody coach. So don't have the scarcity mindset for it.
And once I do accept your friend request, like don't be afraid to a little bit of creep, I'd say, and just like their pictures and stuff, and you know, like comment on them. I like part of my highlighting tracker is to highlight the names of the people that did accept my request. And like today, I picked 3 of those that I have highlighted, and I just went on their profiles and kind of like checked in on their page real quick and found something to like or something to comment on. I wasn't personally messaging them, but just to kind of get my name into their page, and they'll get a notification from me. So that's just, you know, a way to kind of creep on them a little bit, but in a good way. Like you're just becoming present on their page, like, and they might look at your page because you like, I don't know, like their picture or comment on their picture.
Yeah. And remember, guys, I
remember Allie doing that to me. I was like, who is this girl who's telling me how beautiful I look in this picture? Like, that is so creepy. And I was the girl, like literally, guys, I ignored Allie's messages for months. She kept commenting on my pictures. Like it's insane. Now I'm that girl that does the same darn thing as Allie did to me, but I learned from the best. So, you know, but I remember you doing that to me. I will never forget that. But
and that's so funny that it's had such a profound impact on you, Liesl, because I don't remember doing that.
I'm sure you don't. But yeah, I do remember. I remember it was a picture in front of a Christmas tree in December, and so that was in December. I didn't join Allie's challenge group till April. So that just shows you like how hard she worked on me. So, you know, don't ever give up on people. A little jab at that, but the follow-up, it's beautiful. She perfected it with me. So.
Okay. Well, cold invite, turned 1-star diamond coach. We'll be an elite coach this year. Just throwing it out there, guys. Don't hold somebody's destiny in your mouth. Okay. Don't send the invite. Hit enter on your computer in your office by yourself to somebody.
Send it. Gosh darn it.
All right. All right. How are we doing with those adding people? Pretty easy, right? Pretty easy to do that.
Mm-hmm. Don't overthink that either.
No, don't overthink it.
Just add them.
Yeah. And don't give yourself limits. Like, don't be like, I'm only adding people who I have 30 mutual friends with. What? Are you kidding me? Not every single person you meet, you're going to have 30 mutual friends with. That lady who gave me 3 referrals, guess how many mutual friends we have? 4. And 3 of them are other Beachbody coaches in the Moms Club that I'm in. So that proves that people choose to work with who they have a better connection with and who they feel more at ease with. And don't hold yourself back. Don't set limits on yourself. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and post the next one. And this is all about checking in with your challengers and checking into your group. Guys, this is huge. And I'm going to touch on Gina's question of how to transition your challengers into coaches and how to transition those invites and follow-ups into, hey, how about this great opportunity? And, you know, it's a delicate balance that you have to do, especially when you're talking with people. And we plant the seeds about coaching long before we ask them about coaching. At least in our challenge groups. Liesl and I have a really good high track record of bringing coaches into our teams from challenge groups because it's the bread and butter. And any month that I have a low recruitment numbers, I can point back and go, well, our challenge groups were terrible on our end. We didn't put in the effort enough and we didn't recruit any coaches.
We literally said it to each other like a month ago.
Yep. We said it to each other on our Diamond Saturday call. We said, what is going on? Our numbers are low. What are we doing? And we're like, our challenge groups suck. So what are we doing this month? We're revamping our challenge groups. We're bringing in new curriculums. We are, you know, giving away incentives and prizes. And those people are fired up now. We want to get them excited about the business opportunity long before they transition into coaches. So we're sharing coaches on our team, their transformations and their journey and everything in our challenge groups. We're going live in our challenge groups. If you are not going live with on your Facebook feed, on your like page, on your personal page, in your challenge groups, do it. For me, I go through storage on my phone so fast. I love live video because I don't have to save the video on my phone and then upload it again. I can just do it right there and get it done. So that is my favorite thing right now is live video. I love it. I love cooking with my daughter, making Shaco with her, and putting that up in my challenge groups for people to do that. So go ahead and make sure you're doing live video on things. It's crucial, crucial, crucial. Also, when you check in with your challengers, don't just message them, hey, how are you doing? Give them love and say, you are doing amazing. I love your motivation. I love how you're doing things. You know, keep posting on people's posts. within my challenge group, I will tag each other in the post and say, hey, you're a teacher too, so is this person. You guys should chat. Or, oh, you're doing 21-day fix, so is this person. And I connect them right away in our challenge groups, make them feel valued and appreciated in that challenge group, because it's going to transition in the way that they view your business posts, in the way that they see you run your team. And they're going to want to know more information about it. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. And we've been doing just a lot of value added stuff too. Like we post, like we said, we go live and we show them how we're making our Shakeology. Like how many times I had people canceling Shakeology because they never knew how to make it right. Like, and they hated it. And I never understood why, like how any human being could hate Shakeology, but they just didn't know how. Like some people just don't know. So when we can physically show them, like we're so blessed with that live feature in Facebook now. That's so cool. And then just too, you can post a recipe in there, like post what you're eating for lunch. It doesn't have to be fancy. Like I posted one day what I was eating for breakfast. It was literally half of a bagel, my yogurt with granola and berries. Like it was nothing special, but I shared it. So I'm hearing feedback.
Yeah, I was too a little bit ago, Lisa, and then it stopped.
I don't like hearing myself. I'll keep rolling.
But yeah, and we had a team call with one of the diamonds on our team, actually Liesel's diamond, Lindsay, and she does a phenomenal job with challenge groups. Lindsay Maloney and her team, they are challenge group rock stars. And we all had like come to Jesus moments during their team call that they hosted about how they run their challenge groups. And, it was pretty much like you need to deliver what you promise them. If you promise them summer recipes, there better be some summer recipes shared in your challenge group. If you promise them that you're going to give them pantry essentials, you should probably tell them some pantry essentials that you're going to have for them. Deliver on what you promise. We have great scripts and great curriculums, but they're just that they're guides. They're not the end all be all. That's not what you have to use. They're a guide to go off of. Don't feel like you have to use the same thing over and over and over again. And remember, there are people in there. Treat them like people. All right. Shouldn't be a nuisance to check into your challenge groups. They all put $50 in your pocket. So treat them like they deserve your attention, because they do.
Yeah. And sometimes I even do my check-ins with my challenge groups before I start inviting, because it does fill my cup, kind of like personal development does, because you remember your intent and why you're here. And you remember, what our job is as a coach before you go inviting more people to your opportunity. So just another idea, that's something I've been doing the past couple of weeks, is challenge group check-ins first. And it's really been helping me in my mindset. So just an idea there for you too. Doesn't have to come last. It can come first. Really, it does. It should come first when you think about it.
Well, that, and it gets my mind in a good place. Like to check in and see people like killing their workouts, having non-scale victories, having scale victories, like that fills my confidence so much to go in and send invites then as well. Like I usually always start with my challenge groups for sure.
Me too.
And I think a lot of times sometimes we have dead challenge groups, and it's okay to have a challenge group fail and flop. It's okay. It happens. I know Val and I have done challenge groups together in the past, and we're like, day 3, this is not working. We got to get these ladies in another group. And we shut it down and we put them in another group that's doing really well. It's okay to do that. And you kind of have to make the judgment call and see like, okay, this group's supposed to go for 60 days, but it's literally just a coach accountability group right now. All the challengers have checked out. So we shut it down and we transition those challengers into a better group. Don't feel like just because you said this is a 30-day group or a 60-day group, don't feel like you have to, we better get in there and post 1 more week to go. Shut it down if it's not working. You have the power to do that. So shut it down.
I think 60-day groups are tough too. I mean, I know a lot of people do run them, but they are tough. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast of a 60-day group. You're going to lose interest at some point. I think it's better. And, this is something that Lindsay had mentioned on our team call. Like, it might be better to put them in 2 different 30-day groups. They get a kind of, when you start a new group, like halfway through, it kind of puts a little fire under your sails, I think, and gets them excited again to be a part of something new and exciting. I'm seeing that with some challengers that I had in a group in April, and I just put them into my new group that started yesterday, and they're all, that April group was dead at the last week, but now they're all posting the videos. They're leading by example for new challengers too, which is really important, because when you have people that have been there before, I find that, my past challengers are the best to have in those groups, because they know the drill, and they know what you do as a coach in there too, and they kind of start following your lead, and they're just really good to have for new challengers too, and they've been there and they understand and they can relate to them so well. So I like to have them in 2 different 30-day groups. I think that works super well.
And you'll see those repeat challengers, they start coaching without even knowing what they're doing. They're encouraging, they're commenting, they're becoming a coach in your group. And you didn't even ask them
send out a coaching invite, and you're like, hey, do you realize like you're doing everything that I do? Have you ever considered coaching? Really? And I say, yeah, come to our live event. Like, it's just so simple, like when they do that. So again, don't overthink inviting people to coaching either when you see that happen with your repeat challengers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for me, what I love to do too, we have a great curriculum on our team. It's called our Dust Off Your DVDs. And so like I do those when I see fit. So like I see fit that June, I'm going to have to do one to pull all those challengers that were in terrible challenge groups the former half of the year, to really throw them in there. And it's literally repeat challengers. They had to have completed a challenge group with me in the past. They have to have Shakeology in a program, so it boosts my volume on my team. And then it rekindles their fire. And they've all been there before, so it's a shortened 3-day preseason. They get reacquainted with their program. We go through. It's a points-based challenge. They keep track of their own points. There are prizes. And then the last week is Coach for a Day. And they sign up to take a day of posting, and they come up with the assignment, the pin post, and it really empowers them to take on that coaching role. And the best groups are the ones where like, can we have 2 posts on one day? Because there's such an overwhelming amount of people who want to do it. And as long as you pave the way for them and you empower them, they'll do it, guys. They'll step up. And I know Lisa and we have a hardcore group coming up, 2 weeks left. And, we're like, guys, they're not even paying attention to the pin posts. So we're like, well, let's make them coaches for a day. Like, let's see who wants to provide some motivation. And every single one of their posts have been about, how has this changed you? How has this impacted your life, with no prompting from us? Yeah. So it's wonderful because it allows you to glimpse into their journey. And it is really helpful. And yeah, Heather, one of my other star diamonds, just said, those Coach for a Day posts are what got her hooked. It's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I'm able to help people, and I'm able to really share this.
Do it. It's not hard. Like, it's so simple. It's
exactly. And actually, what they're doing in those Coach for a Day posts are harder. Because they're coming up with it. They have nothing to go off of.
Yeah, exactly. The next it's just something to think about. I just, it's all well and good if you're here tonight and you did your power hour with us and you got your invites and your follow-ups done, but like we said earlier, and it's loading really slow, I'm sorry. Your consistency is key. And if you want to make this successful, if you want to work your business in 1 hour a day, you have to do the work, and you have to do it every single day. Like, you can't decide to show up tonight and then not invite again until Friday night. Like, that doesn't work. And, or even just like saying, oh, it's the weekend, I'm going to take it off and I'm not going to, invite. I still, no matter pretty much what's going on, I make sure my power hour happens every day. Like, that's my non-negotiable, because I know that consistency is what builds my business, and that's what's getting me to where I want to go. And I've seen so much success with it. And even if that's all, like, you could even do a power half hour if you have to. I've been there before too. but do the bare minimum and make sure you get it done every day. Don't do the bare minimum every day, but minimum and get it done. And just, just do it. Like, I don't know what else to say except just stink and do it. Like, you have to get yourself in that mindset and realize that if you want that success, if you want to build your business, this is what you have to do every day. So you need to set some goals that include this power hour and involve, I will send this many invites every day this week. I will send this many follow-ups this week, or I'm going to work on my connections this week. Like, decide what you need to do to improve your power hour. That's just my soapbox, I guess. But Allie, you can add to that too.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you get paid for your work in this business. And, there are going to be moments where you have to invite everybody and then some to hit the bare minimum of Success Club 5 or 10. And then there are months where everybody comes to you and you don't have to do anything. And I guarantee my best months, like this month, I'm at Success Club 12. I've been there for 2 weeks. My best months are followed by crappy months, because the crappy months I pushed harder than I ever pushed before. And now I'm able to rest a little bit because I put in all the legwork before, because what you do now affects your business next month. So if you're sitting here on the 23rd and you're like, well, I've probably done 2 power hours this month, you're going to have a really hard June, and you're going to have a really stressful last couple of weeks of the month if you're just now starting your Success Club push. It has to be happening every single day. Okay. Don't burn yourself out in 2 days because you pushed it and you made it happen. And then you take 2 weeks off because you're so spent from you're working your business. Do small, consistent things over time. It's so much easier. Holy crap, is it easier to be consistent over time as opposed to burning yourself out day after day.
Yeah. And you can't just hit Success Club on the 5th of the month and then take the rest of the month off, because that's easy to fall into that too. Like, oh, I'm golden, I'm good to go. Well, then come June, guys, you're going to have no one to follow up with. You're going to have no one to reconnect with. You're going to have nothing. And you're going to be scrambling for sure. So don't hit Success Club and then stop. Like, you need to continue. I hit Success Club on, I think, the 6th or something of this month. Like, I could have stopped. But my planner has never been fuller last 3 weeks, because I also know, I got to get to Success Club quick in June, because I'm going on my wedding and my honeymoon, and I am not thinking about it there. So, I mean, I'm putting in a lot of work right now, but it's going to pay off. So, you have to really plan ahead, and you have to think about your intent and think about where you're going for the next month and your goals for the next month too. Because you're right, what you do now in May affects your June, and what you do in June is going to affect July. So definitely good advice there, Allie.
Absolutely.
I saw Candace ask the best time to do follow-ups and invites. For me, I do my power when I can. So, I mean, I typically am doing it between 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 at night when I get home from work. I do it right away because, like I said, it's my non-negotiable. I got to do it first. So I do it before I do anything else when I get home from school. But that being said, on days I know where I might be going out of town after school or something off for the weekend, or, on the weekends when I have a busy day ahead, I send mine in the morning. So I don't know that there's really a good or bad time. I think you have to think about when people are on Facebook a little bit. I do have good success messaging them at 5 o'clock, because think about the time, people are getting off work, they're heading home, they're at home. So I find that that's a good time. Later at night's good too. People, what are people doing at night before they go to bed? Well, they're probably laying in bed scrolling through their Facebook. I mean, we all have been or are too. So I find late at night too, people do message me a lot. And I'm a lot of times sleeping because I get up really early in the morning, but I respond to messages in the morning too. So that when I do get home for power hour too, I have another message from them, and I can talk to them then. So that's how I do it, but I'm probably not a good example. I'm not necessarily the most consistent person in the time of the day I'm doing my power hour or sending my messages. So I don't know.
Yeah, and Candace, I'm kind of the same way as Liesl. On days that my sitter's here 3 days a week for 4 hours. Those are the only days I can sit down and do a power hour uninterrupted from start to finish. Because other than that, I'm on mom mode. I mean, Matt's been gone for a month. Like, I can't take time away from my kids. They're 3 and 8 months old. I can't take the time away from them all the time. So mine is, if I can squeeze in 15 minutes here, I have this to do. If I have 30 minutes here, this is what I'm going to do. It happens every day, even if it happens at midnight after the kids are in bed and Harrison finally goes to sleep. It happens. I wouldn't worry too much about time of day, because even if somebody sees your message and doesn't respond, it's an easy follow-up the next day.
Definitely. And don't be worried about, like, oh my gosh, someone messaged me, I have to message them right back. Like, you don't. I used to think that, and I was forever like on my phone and engaged in my messages. Like, you can set a time of day. Like, I only respond to messages really during my power hour. And even then I have my chat off because I'm focused. So not necessarily like instant gratification there either. But like during or around my power hour, in the mornings before I work out, I respond to my messages while I drink my Energize. And then, maybe before I go to bed at night, I might respond to a few, but you don't have to constantly be answering messages. I mean, that just could drive you batty and crazy. So don't do that.
And it's going to send the wrong message to the people watching you. I mean,
Yeah.
You want to show balance in your life. And if you're constantly available every time they message you, like, oh, does this lady just sit at her computer all day? Like, what's going on? I mean, don't hesitate to send somebody a message and say, hey, I saw this. I'm going to mark it as unread because I'm feeding kids right now, or I'm in lunchtime right now, and you'll get back to them.
And yes, that unread button is golden. If you guys haven't discovered that yet, that unread button is awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I put that last post up for the night, guys, and it's just sharing your why. And I want you guys to really think of your why. It needs to trigger emotion in you. If it doesn't trigger emotion, you need to think bigger and you need to dig deeper. You want to think of your negative why, and it's the why that makes you mad, like something in your life that you want to change and you don't know how to do it. Guys, this could be your how. Could be how you could do it. And your why is going to evolve over time. And it's okay for it to change. And it's okay for it to, evolve from helping people to paying off school loans. And then whenever you accomplish that why, it can evolve into something even bigger. Don't be short-sighted in your why. Think bigger and make sure you're really reaching to it. It needs to trigger emotion in you. It needs to pull at your heartstrings. It needs to make you mad, to make you want to fight for it. All right. So do you guys have any last questions for us?
Thank you guys so much. You did awesome.
Welcome.
I loved it. I was super productive over on my end for sure.
Yay.
All right, well, we'll close it up. It's 9:02, and guys, thanks for hopping on with us. Just make sure that, like Allie and Liesl said, this isn't just a one-time deal. You have to do this every single day, and your business goals, your life goals, what is your priority, set those, because the only way you will succeed in your business is if you put in the work and actually make it a priority. So we hope you guys have a great night. Hit Success Club because it matters. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.